What we are going to do today is to give you an overview of Flowlogic. Flowlogic is a very easy to use product, and we have multiple areas in Flowlogic. The area where the files get displayed, the area where the plot get displayed. So import the file. We go to select one folder that contains the files. Open. Here are listed the files, and here is where we call the folder. Now, after we load the files, the first things probably to do for the files that you load to understand if the files are compatible, and do eventually file cleaning if you need to clean the files. So we check the metadata. We have all the set of the most common keywords, and you can select the keyword that you want to check, or you can just tick metadata, execute, and it's giving all the list of the keywords with the difference. So here obviously the file path is different, there is no doubt about that. Flow rate is different, and if you don't see any sensible keyword like keyword that you have here, and they are telling you that you have the amplifier gain, sighting, voltage. So if you don't come with anything, there is no difference. If it's coming with something, do please an evaluation of the keyboard. And if you think that the files are okay, close. Here is the reporting area. So now for the same files, we run fluorescence. The fluorescence stability is extremely important. And you will see that in this file, the fluorescence stability is okay, little difference, 1 or 2, 99%, so means that 1 or 2 events are out, but it's not a problem. So what we do here, we delete light level, delete the selected, and now you start to see the functionality of the buttons on top. Can be done by the right button as well, delete all gates, clone, I'll be show after. Flow rate is another common check, different than fluorescence, but it's very useful as well. So these, we selected one file, and you can see that there is already a difference. Like what I say, you can delete that from here, delete all gate and clones. Enough. Now we select all, and we do execute. And here you can see almost a constant flow rate, 5% roughly get removed. So if we open, we see immediately where the removal happened. This is the original one, and this is where it is removed. Okay, after we did this, we are ready to start gating. Now we can start gating from the new position that we did. The new gate, this is a normal gate. So, and now you start to see our plotting tool, density plot. Probably is not the case to getting, should get FSC and SSC. This is normal, and this we are on clean. Now if we go for grouping, this is perfect, because in this way we change everything to all, because grouping means that when you do operation in one, you do operation in all. So for example, if we change parameters, you can see the parameter change back to all for all the groups. Now similar if we start gating. So here are all our graphing tool, or like we say, toggle to dot plot, histogram, kinetics, forget about kinetics for now. Here is contour, but is maintaining all the dots around, pure contour, pseudocode, pseudoplot, pseudoplot dot. This is an overlap of the contour. This is again contour, pseudocode, and dots, and this is contour and pseudocode. So we go back to the original one, and now we start gating. Gating, here we have polygon, rectangle, ellipse, marker, splitter. You will see splitter later. Quadrant gate, this is an auto gate. We don't suggest to use auto gate for now. Now, another thing that is very important is the settings. If we go to Flowlogic, go to preferences, if you need to change settings, and quite important, if you have a rare event, usually these settings are quite okay for everybody, but just in case, if you want display the parameter label in a different way, you can export in a different way. This is quite important. Sometimes you have files with rare event, and we suggest change the spectrum, and we have all the series of the spectrum, but okay, we use the spectrum. We can have the rainbow. Rainbow is quite good as well for rare event. And these are the main settings. Again, quite a nice one. We have highlight level, you will see in action after, and then send to graph, we see in action after. Close all plot, you can see, then we close all the plot, then highlight level, open selected, all the plots get open. Delete selected, not for now, definitely. And here we have functionality that I will show when we start to get the gate. This is selecting. Now, if you are in a group, you don't need to use any of these, and everything gets transferred. But if you are out of the group, we take things out of the group. When we change something, will be changed just here. So, for example, we change our x-axis, the rest is not changed. So what we can do, if we don't want to work in a group, and say, okay, x-axis, we want select, and you can see, you can have x-axis, you can have y-axis, and you can visualize all your data. Again, very easy to visualize the data in block. So what do we do here? For example, now we go to the full data set, highlight level, close all plot, open to all plot, and you get everything done. We are not obviously interested in this. So we go back to the group, close our plot. Now here we go for SSC and FSC, and we can start gating. We start with our live, and you can see all the name go through to all. Then we do singlet. We clean a singlet. Singlet. And then after we did the singlet, we can start gating with and identified our population of interest. So first we try to get the T cell. As soon as we try to get the T cell, immediately we see that there are anomalies. So we open another area of Flowlogic where we have scaling, and here you can see the compression of your data, and here is the contour. You can select the contour. But quite interesting here, you can go to full display. Full display give you an overview of all your data. It's quite useful. Some people like, some people don't. We like full display. And now that we are in this condition, we have to check compensation, because we can see that the compensation is not great. There is a spread. So if we go to compensation, all the files are already compensated, and all the files compensated in the same way, which usually is normal. Having situation like this, the file were compatible, probably collected in the same day, so there was no problem. We do a manual checking here, so we had selected. We suggest 10,000 reduction is good enough and super fast. When we go and build all permutation, we see all the data. So all the parameter will be built for you. And you can see how the data looks. We can see invalid, means that they don't match the minimum event, because we need a minimum event to get the right result. This is set automatically by Flowlogic. Achievable MFI difference from positive and negative. Here we have save comp. After we suggest always to save the comp. And here there are information about the process. So if we click adjustment, you will see that in a few seconds all the data get adjusted everywhere for all the plot, The spread, the shift. And if we are happy with the result, set finish. After you finish, we notice that the compensation are different. So this is new compensation, this is the old compensation. Now, you can apply, we see that the files are compatible, so you can get this compensation, apply the compensation to all, or we can simple, in Flowlogic say, okay, you did an adjustment for one, do the automatic adjustment for all. You click the button, Flowlogic starts, does all the checking, data reduction, and start to adjust the data to adjust your compensation for you. And you have nothing to do. So we take, depend of the complexity of the adjustment and the complexity of the file, and the size of the files, number of parameters. There are various factors that put together the time to do this. In general, Flowlogic does a good job, but we always suggest at the end go and check your compensation. And I will show you that when you go and check the compensation, this table is very, very interactive. So this is the second one. Third file is completed. Now he's moving to the fourth one. And he's doing all the job in his own. And for the purpose of this demo, which the plan is to give you an overview of Flowlogic and what you can do, is probably okay. Then there will be sections where we explain step by step all the processes. But this is just an overview of Flowlogic, and you see that very quickly is moving from one file to another and compensate the file for you, readjust compensation in the file, minimum adjustment. You will see the difference at the end from one file to another are really minimal. But you can see that the spread get ably adjusted. Okay, now it's finished the job. We will go and check our compensation. So if we go and check the comp for each file, now you see that each file has its own adjusted comp. The comp is just minimal adjustment, but it's extremely important. May be extremely important. Okay, after we did this, now we are ready to finish with gating. So we go to grouping. We can continuously gating in this way, or we can go back to the normal gating strategy. Here, revert. This is probably more common for the user. Here we have our T cell. And here we have our CD4 and CD8. And we do a CD4 and CD8 extraction. CD8 and CD4. After we did this, we can be getting our data, and we can even visualize the begetting only. You can see that this is removing all the data around, and you can visualize just the begetting. So it's quite useful. We have various functionality here: show gate, show label, hide just the text or the label. Here we already show the rest, but we have on selecting, you can toggle all the plot. Okay, so we are at the point where we can practically graphing, because we did CD4 and CD8, and now we can send to Flowlogic and see in the graph how it's looking. So this is our CD4, this is our CD8. We display percentage of pattern, but obviously we have all the statistics. If the statistic is parametric, we have to select the reference parameter. And here we have all our gating strategy. Okay, finish this. We go and we start to see the data. We want to see the data in our global, because it's quite useful to visualize the data in global. Now, one of the things that we have to do before to visualize data in global, so we start from the singlet parameter, and we have to do a renaming of the parameter just to shorten the custom label. And because we select these, everything gets renamed correctly. Again, we align level, we add to the table, select all, and then we go to global. And you can see global, there are multiple display. We want to visualize our CD4 and CD8. Here we display CD4 and CD8 in a rotation format. Very useful is this horizontal display. The legend is telling us that these are the 5 files that we consider: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can display multiple data set all together, but okay, probably it's more useful to visualize the data one by one. And then we remove. Now, after we did this, we can go and start phenotyping. So what we're doing here now, we can remove from the group. We don't need to be in the group. Remove from the group. And we can do an auto phenotyping. This is very interactive. And when you click apply, as you can see, the plot are taken on the screen, and you can adjust what we call before splitter, delineator, marker. So we mark the data from positive and negative. Flowlogic try to adjust the gate, to adjust the splitter, but probably it's better to adjust if you check this adjustment. CD 45 probably is better here. These are irrelevant because we are not interested, but it's good to have in the position positive and negative, because in this way you will see your data in the way that you want, according to your settings. And here we click all because these files are compatible. We don't need to go to next. And after we click all, here we start to create all the clusters and the phenotype. And you can see immediately this is our extraction. So if we go and we want to visualize the clusters, these are all the clusters with attached the phenotype, and you can see how useful is having very short phenotypes. And if we want to see the cluster, we import the script, the CSV that we used, which is very simple, CD4 and CD8, and then we display, and here you can see all the clusters. So you can even build your search if you want. CD4 plus CD8 minus, and you can see is extracting your population, all CD4 and CD8. Here you can see how the cluster match the gating. Again, the cluster gate can be appended here in this area, and you can evaluate cluster gate, and you can evaluate both together, and you can see it's almost perfectly overlapped. Okay, after we did this, we can do even an extraction from here. If you want to explore your data and say, okay, my CD8, I can see for my CD45 I have something very high. So we go to the gate, we add the gate, make the polygon visible, and as soon as we display, you can see, oh, okay, this is just 2 events. This is 3 events. This is, and so on and so forth. And you can, when you find out something that is you can reshape, obviously, the gate. When you find out something that you are interested, for example, say, okay, I want just CD8 high for all, but I want to visualize before to go and extract. Yeah, you see, it's giving you the visualization tool, and you can visualize where this data is. Now, you understand how useful to hide the rest of the event, because in this way you can see CD8 visualize in CD45, or you can, what you can do, you can just add level group and then get CD8, and this is your CD8 versus your CD4, and you can see how the data fold in. And if you want an extraction just of sum, because this will be just CD8 high, nothing more easy, and then you go and highlight level and rename CD8 high, or just H is enough, and all of them are renamed, and then you extract your CD8 high. So it's quite a nice tool to use to explore the data. And you can see even for rare event, we can increase the dot, but here we have 2-3 events. We don't have many. Yep. You can see how the data get extracted just for 2 files, and obviously you can see that it's just for 2 files. Okay, now that we are happy with this and we did whatever we think is okay, we get rid of the gate. We don't need the gate anymore. And we did a mistake. We pressed the button, so we sent, and we remove these 2 gates. We don't need these 2 gates. And we go delete rows, because it can be deleted from here as well. And after this, we can go to Flowlogic and think about put the data inside Flowlogic. So let's say that what we are interested is this 5, highlight level. We load, and then Flowlogic does the job for us. 5 times 4, apply. And we get the data. Now you can see that the data doesn't show anything because we have hide event. And what we have to do, we can group this data and get group, new group, and this is the starting gate. So the starting gate will be SSC and FSC. You can see that they are the same. And now we have all the gate display in this format. So we built another Flowlogic, delete the previous one. What we do, we select just these 5 gates because we don't need the first one. Highlight level, drag in, apply. Now we have all the gate display. Now here you can see that you have the dot setting a bit too high. We take away the dot setting, and immediately everything gets updated. Yeah. So after we finish this, we can go here and we build in graph something. So we can go to Flowlogic and get a table. Can adjust the table, and then we can get the graph. So we have our CD4 and CD8 from all graphed. So this is what you can do in Flowlogic. As a summary, we put together an overview of from loading the file to get in the report. Now, when you are in the report, obviously we want to print out the report. So here are the various options. PDF. Quite interesting option is PPTX. And where to save the report is obviously your choice. We save the report in test saving. So in this way we grab the report there. So this is a PPTX, and at the same time we can do a saving in a PDF, same spot. And we go and check our our saving. In our desktop. Should be desktop 1, test saving, and here is our talk logic. Here is our logic, and you can see in the report is saved, everything saved. This is a PPTX, is a PowerPoint, is PDF, and then we have our PowerPoint. And the beauty of PowerPoint is that you can ungroup everything and group again. Regroup. Thank you very much.